I woke up today believing OJ was going to be paroled. Then I watched the hearing, and I was like, "Oh my God, he's blowing it." Yeah, it's the Atlanta Falcons, and he's blowing a 28-3 lead, and OJ's going back to jail. When they came out with the unanimous verdict of releasing him, I was shocked, and I started the day thinking he was going to be paroled, and he flipped me. And I'm shocked. Was anybody else surprised he was paroled after watching that hearing?
You know what? I'm not shocked. Just like you woke up this morning and you were expecting him to get paroled, I woke up expecting him to be paroled. And I think everyone on the panel were expecting him to be paroled. And then, as you said, he started talking, and he almost talked himself back into it.
There were a couple of moments of hostility. You see that? The eyes there for a second?
It was my property.
Yes, he got himself in a situation going back and forth where it could have gotten ugly.
He was in jail for stealing his own stuff, right? There's the whole thing, you pointed out, this is the circus that is O.J. Simpson, and to people who aren't old enough to remember the trial and all of that was the circus, and how Judge Ito became this huge kind of public figure. And then we started talking about the prosecution, the lawyers, and it's the wellspring for so many others in reality TV. This is what it was, only on the micro level. The macro level was the trial. I was like shot back in time. That's what it was like to watch O.J. Simpson.
This is the point I want to make. You cannot relitigate the murder case today. You can't. Yeah. However, the public has a karmic connection to the murders. No matter whatever happens to O.J. Simpson, if he says, "I've never been a violent man, I've never had a conflict," everybody watching at home is going, "Yeah, tell that to Nicole and Ron." You know, they're always going to say that. You can't relitigate it, but people have that connection and always will, and frankly, always should.
You watched the hearing, though.
Yes.
And I'm just when they came unanimous 4-0, were you surprised?
I was not surprised. I thought he was going to be sprung today.
Yeah, nor were I. I mean, as you said, well, you understand that you can't bring in the past trial and the past ruling into this right here. I didn't think so. He was in jail 9 years for stealing his own stuff.
And some say only should have been there 1 or 2 years.
But because, they Al Caponed him. That's what happened. Exactly. He got Al Caponed on this one.
Get all of that. But I guess the media built up my expectation that what he did in the parole hearing was important. Clearly, it was not. Clearly, what O.J. did for 9 years in that prison is what got him paroled. He kept a clean record.
Yes.
He was a good model citizen. So O.J. went into that knowing the conclusion. He already knew he had sprung himself with his behavior, and he relitigated the case.
Right. Or wanted to, yeah.
He basically did. He relitigated the case, and I was, again, so I'm surprised because I went in with the expectations that he had to be contrite. He had to act like he understood that he put himself in that position. But O.J. basically was a victim today. He described himself as a victim.
He tried to set the narrative that he was a victim, that all of this was done wrong. I mean, look, I don't think he walked for any other reason, or he's on parole for any other reason, that they shouldn't have held him this long to begin with, right? I mean, I
agree with you.
The reality of it is, in a sad way, the justice system actually works.
It was payback. It was a kind of payback.
It was payback for. He was in jail for. He probably should have been on probation, or, as you said, a very shortened sentence. But to me, like, again, this is who O.J.'s always been. With the exception, the only time there's ever been any sort of admission was the book that sort of came out and then didn't. If I did it. But outside of that, like. He was, now I'm going to go search for the real killers.